everyone, welcome back. We're running it back again. August was such a cute month with all those little pandas, but now it's time for September, the true start of fall. If you haven't seen it yet, here's my color board for the month. I'm going for a cottagecore vibe with warm colors, soft gingham accents, and a touch of lace to tie into that coquette aesthetic as well. And of course, what's coquette without bows everywhere? So drum roll please. This month's theme is pies. We are baking pies together in my September spreads. I thought pies would be the perfect introduction into fall, cozy and warm without being too on the nose. Plus, they bring in such beautiful color tone that I can't wait to play with. Artistically, I'm trying something different this time. Instead of bold outlines, I wanted to experiment with thinner, daintier line art to lean into that softness and coquette feeling. I don't really have a definitive art style yet, so I thought this would be a fun way to push myself. I used an O2 liner pen to keep everything soft and delicate with the line work. For the cover, I designed a Dutch window spread that will actually open up to reveal a freshly baked pie in the center, or at least that's gonna be the plan. I can't believe it's already September. It officially feels like the very first bit of fall. Not really in terms of weather though, because I am from Texas, so climate speaking, fall has always been just an extension of summer for us. But the days are shorter, and suddenly I'm dreaming about all the little things that still makes the season so special. That's why my theme this month is pies. It's cozy, comforting, and the perfect start to fall. For me, September is like the crust of the season. It's where everything begins, and it sets the stage for all the sweetness to come. It was definitely a learning process cutting out all these panels. I honestly had no idea what I was doing at first, but I managed to figure it out by the end. One thing I learned is that the Dutch doors are super delicate, so if you try this, fold and refold gently so the paper doesn't tear. With my Dutch windows all done, we're gonna move on to the cover, and the cover itself is gonna be set in a cozy cottage kitchen, making it warm, inviting, and full of small details. I really enjoyed this new outlining method I took on because it really gives my pie that nice flaky texture that makes the pie look a bit more realistic. I added hanging leaves, which is my favorite go-to detail for pops of green. It allows me to add lively green tones and spread the details as much as I like, depending on how much I want the leaves to grow out. For the background, I wanted to keep it a soft, muted color that would still tie into the warm, cozy vibe, but still not be too bold to stand out and overshadow a lot of the elements that I have that I rather spotlight on. So I used this soft peach to tie into the nice classic kitchen scene without having it scream too much. When I colored the plants, I started out with a muted tone because I don't want to take too much focus away from the main pie. Then I slowly go back in with bolder and bolder greens just to give it a little bit of variety and depth. You'll also see that I tried my hand at lace for the first time. Does it look like lace? Maybe. Does it look a little like snow on the shelf? Also maybe. But I actually kind of love it as a little Easter egg-esque. Bottom line, I tried. Of course, the star of the show is the pie. For the crust, I played around with the layering and pointillism, kind of, to give it a real flaky texture. Now I did concoct a sort of recipe almost of coloring markers for the pie crust, and I think I'm pretty proud of it. I start going in with darker and darker tones, but I'm doing it in more of a random sporadic manner to give it that random texture flakiness to it, because a pie is never completely and perfectly flat. It has flakes and layers, so you want to make sure that it kind of showcases that. And for the filling, I went with blueberry. I thought the deep blue would pop out against all the warm reds and browns that's already in the spread. So to make it even look more delicious, I added little steam lines rising from the top, and I just feel myself floating like a cartoon character towards it. It's just so cute. I wish the pie I potentially bake could look half as good as I colored it. I never actually baked anything that wasn't already pre-mixed before, so I hope that I get a chance to try my hand at rolling some dough and make an overly complicated crust design purely for the fun of it. For the title September, I kept it simple, all caps, easy to read, and surrounded with some cross-stitch accents for that delicate handmade touch. With the Dutch window perfectly framing our main character of the month, we move on to the calendar spread. And shout out to my nail artist for the amazing set that she made for me. I love it so much. It's so on brand with the theme. I never really had red nails before, so it's definitely out of my comfort zone. I brought back the pink ribbons and bows to tie into the coquette vibe and added pies along the side to keep it warm and cozy. This month, I've been thinking about my fall bucket list, the things that make me happiest this time of year. Carving pumpkins, trying out new baking recipes, going to a fall festival, dressing up for Halloween again, maybe even visiting a haunted house. Just imagining those moments make me so excited to cozy into the season. Except for the haunted house. That one is more like facing my fear, because I don't really see what's so enjoyable about paying someone to deliberately make me scared and uncomfortable, but that's just me. For the title, I kept the lettering simple again, but added a stitched effect so it looked like a patch sewn onto the page. For the ribbons, I shaded with a slightly darker pink to give them a soft 3D look. The trick I used is to shade the thinner twisted areas of the ribbon where light wouldn't hit as much, and kept the wider open areas lighter so they look like they were catching more light. My favorite part is coloring more pie crust. Honestly, I could color pie crust all day. Once I figured out my recipe for shading, it became second nature. Again, I use a base yellowing tone with layers of darker stippling for flakes and shadows. I even tried this fun trick of letting some of the pie filling color bleed slightly into the crust to make it extra gooey and irresistible, because sometimes filling likes to touch pie crust. It makes it a bit more realistic and it makes it even more delicious. With my monthly spread ready, I am now going to start on the first page of my waterfall tabs. It is something new that I'm trying this month to more easily navigate through my monthly layout. So I went with the red polka dot washi tape instead of the burnt yellow to avoid overusing that tone. but you will see throughout the video that I will be eventually alternating between the tapes for each tab. So with my first tab spread done, we are going to move on to my master to-do list. You'll see that the markers had bled through to the other side of the page, so instinctively all I do is just cover it up with my washi tape that I heavily depend on. This was my first time creating one actually, and I honestly don't know why I've never done it before. It's not tied to a specific day or week, it's just a list of things that I want to get done at some point this month. And with a bit of crafty touches, I got my to-do list on its way. Also, look at this perfect washi tape I found that I felt really tied in perfectly to the theme and vibe that I'm going for. So I'm actually going to skip this layout for now and move forward with the mood tracker instead, because you'll see that it's going to involve using Ohuhu markers and it will definitely bleed through into the other side of the page. So with that, I can just cover it up again like the to-do list. But before I do that, I will start coloring my mood tracker. So for the mood tracker, I'm actually really excited about it. Each day of the month is represented by a whole pie. So depending on my mood, I'll fill in the pie with different flavors of filling. Even sad days will turn into cute little pies, which actually feels fun and comforting. So to save future me some time, I pre-colored all the crust, which was so relaxing to do while I was watching a movie. I added a lot of variety, different pie tops with cross stitches, squiggles, whipped cream, and even one with a heart cut out to show the filling, which is my personal favorite. For the title, I am using the same shade of pink that I used for the ribbons from my calendar just to keep it a little cohesive, and I decided to keep the filling colors on the basic side. So like red for cherry, blue for blueberry, violet for blackberry, and brown for chocolate cream pie, which is one of my favorites. By the end of the month, I'll get to look back at my display of pies like a fall fair pie contest right inside my journal. Going backwards now, I'm going back to start on my monthly outlook. Now I'm moving on to the next layer of my waterfall tab, now alternating to the burnt yellow washi tape. I kept it simple and functional, just a place to jot down events and appointments. But first, of course, I'm going to cover up all the bleeding again. I bring back my trusty washi tape and basically use the same crafty skills from the master to-do list and create cutouts of everything and stick it all together. My calendar feels like the recipe for September. Like each row is a chance to add in those fall bucket list moments, like penciling in a festival or saving a weekend to bake. I want this outlook to hold both my responsibilities and my joys, so that the month doesn't pass by before I've had the chance to savor it. Now I'm moving on to the habit tracker, but first I gotta still continue that waterfall tab, so I'm just gonna do that real quick with the alternating washi tape. For my habit this month, I'm keeping it on the simpler side, with the last few spreads being very heavy on the art. So I kept it simpler to track one habit at a time, and it honestly just gives my hand kind of a break at this point. But still wanting a little decor, I added some polka dot stickers that still ties into the color scheme, but actually it also kind of looks like the berries from like a pie filling almost. Even with the simple habits like journaling or taking daily meds, it feels more special when I imagine them as part of my recipe for fall. With that easy peasy spread done and out of the way, I finally wrap things up with my highlight page and playlist. For the highlights of my month, I kept it simple again with this easy worn out scroll design, and I'm going to use my go-to ombre brush lettering for the title because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. At this point, I'm almost burnt out creatively, so whenever that happens, I kind of start going to my crutch designs, and ombre brush lettering is one of them. It's so easy yet effective all the time. With my last spread of the playlist, I wanted to try something new, so I made an envelope style layout where I cut out the shape of an envelope and used rolled up pieces of tape on the sides of it, and you'll see why in a second. My actual playlist is going to be written on a little card that is able to slide into the envelope. So with the rolled up tape, it gives the envelope a little bit of height kind of to allow me to easily slide the playlist in and out of the cutout envelope. As for the background, I didn't want to leave it blank, so I used a simple cloud design and added birds as an accent, and I think it definitely gives it a simple, nice touch that can still tie the whole theme together. So that's my September pie, a month filled with the flavors of fall, and hopefully a few bucket list adventures sprinkled in. I want this season to be full of little joys like carving pumpkins or baking something sweet. And here we are. All my September spreads are laid out. Honestly, I'm so proud of this month. I pushed myself to try new art styles, added more crafty elements, and really embraced the cozy cottage kitchen vibe. I can't wait to use these spreads throughout the month. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this content, please like and subscribe below, and you can follow me for more at Dilly Doon Journals on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest. And let me know in the comments what theme you picked for September. Bye!